What's the color palette of Quanzhou? Is it blue? An ancient Chinese port along the historic maritime Silk Road and an economic and trade powerhouse on China's southeast coast. Or it can be green. An environment-friendly city that's ideal for living.
Ability to foster innovation and stable business environment.
Or deep red. Historic buildings standing side by side to gleaming modern architectures and gentle sounds of the night music mixed with vibrancy of the night market.
Join us in Quanzhou.
Only on Global Business, only on CGTN.
Hello and welcome everyone! Welcome to our live stream today. We are coming to you live from sunny Quanzhou. I'm Morag Hobbs.
And I am Zhong. I got a new co-host and partner here in Quanzhou. One of many exciting things that are happening right now. Today, we're coming live to you from a very, very hot Quanzhou. So pardon me for this giant sweat stand on my shirt right now. I promise you it was brand new when I put it on just a couple of hours ago. But there's something to be said about this shirt and about this
beautiful,
pattern,
isn't
this
it?
picture on me. It has the name Quanzhou on it, and there is that boat. This is no ordinary boat. It was supposedly used by the great Chinese explorer Zheng Chenggong, who led 7 large-scale voyages into the seas around China, including, of course, the South China Sea. So whenever you see this pattern, this is what they call the Citong style. You know, Quanzhou was known in ancient China as the city of Citong, or Zaitan in English. So this is the Zaitan style, and we're rocking it. The team before us, you know, we came prepared. We have matching shirts on. The team before us wore the same color. So points deducted in
you
style.
gotta mix it up.
You gotta mix it up and have different colors to spice things up. So we're spicing things up at the very beginning. And Morag, tell us why we're here.
Why are we here? Well, today we're going to take you on a tour of the whole center of Quanzhou, see the hustle and bustle of city life. But we have started in quite a quiet location. This is the former residence of Su Tingyuan, who was, I guess, a very famous leader from the Qing dynasty, am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he, maybe not so famous overseas, but here very famous as quite a nobleman, a good guy.
A good guy, an all-around cool guy, a very nice official that is being remembered and revered very much here in Quanzhou. We start in his residence because there is so much to remember him. What did he do? He was this type of government official that really tried to serve his people, did his people good. For example, he worked in government positions in a number of places around China.
Over China.
There was Chengdu, there was Suzhou, there was here in Quanzhou. And what did he do in those places?
Yeah, well, in Suzhou, he lowered taxes for the common person, which I think...
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
Lowered taxes. Over in Chengdu, he stopped rice hoarding, which was a huge thing at the time. So it really helped stop starvation and meant a lot more people lived, which
Absolutely.
is great.
No.
And in Xiamen, just up the coast, he even guarded the coast from those pesky English colonizers. So I think he did a lot of good around China, and he's been remembered as such. And he really believed in this thing called Shuangqing. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Shuangqing is known for Shuangqing, Qingbai, and Qingzheng, meaning that as a person, you want to be innocent and pure. As a government official, you want to be fair and uncorrupt. And I think he accomplished both of that. So that's what he is known for. That's why he is being remembered. Well, we starting his residence here today also because this is now doubling as a workshop for a number of intangible cultural heritage. For example, the embroidery.
Yeah, and we can see just behind us some ladies hard at work at their embroidery. Now, this is a very particular embroidery style called jincang.
Jincang embroidery.
Jincang embroidery, which is a bit of a mouthful. Yeah.
Yep. Especially compared to the shu or su embroidery that is probably better known internationally. So what is so different and special about jincang embroidery? We intend to find out for you.
Yeah,
Come check this out.
Let's go and have a look, shall we? Hey, ni hao.
So we have 2 ladies here that are masters of the jincang embroidery, and they're busy working on 2 different patterns. Let's start with this pattern here. Obviously, it's part of the building structure. It's architectural.
You can see the very old eaves of a Chinese style building. I think
Exactly.
it's gorgeous. And already I can see the difference between this and maybe the Su embroidery is that it really pops out
Yes.
of the silk. So it's
Yes.
really built up onto itself.
If
Maybe
we can-
the camera
if we
wants
can
to
catch
come
that
and
on
have
camera,
a look.
It's more 3D to make
Yeah.
it simple. It's more 3D than maybe the Su and the Shu embroidery. Everything pops out to you. So it's more vivid, it's more lifelike no matter what you're doing. You can do the eve of a house, or you can do those, I think it's
These
scenery,
waves,
those,
yeah. Or is it
that's-
fields?
I think it's 老师这个是什么？这是山丘吗？还是什么？It's 啊，这个是什么？您给我们介绍一下。您现在海水 OK, it's waves. You got it
It
right.
is waves,
It's
I got it.
waves. It's oceans.
I just love the fact it's so vibrant and this gold thread that's being used, I can see it in almost every piece. Is that unique to this style of
You know,
embroidery,
we
do you
call this
reckon?
Jingcang embroidery. Jing means gold, so we're going to see a lot of gold elements in the artworks that they do. But is gold just a color, or does it also speak about the material they use? For example, the gold thread that you see here. 老师问一下，这叫金苍绣啊，这个金字在这个里边有什么样的意义？它只是说颜色有很多金色吗？还是说，比如说这种金箔或者这个金线的使用上？啊，问这个老师 ，OK。您跟我们讲一讲，就这个金啊，在金苍绣当中，它的使用是怎么回事？
这个金苍绣它就一般我们会用在宗教上面啊，还有我们每年就是30晚上要拜天公嘛，然后我们要供桌，前面要围一个桌琴，然后桌琴这个就需要这个金苍绣，它里面就是它有龙凤，它就是吉祥物，对
religious element to that, and then on the last day of the
它会
Chinese
绣上吉祥物。
lunar year on the Chinese calendar. It's used for religious offerings as part of the decoration.
Oh, wow.
So there's
Okay.
a lot of religious overture to this.
So it looks very detailed. I'm just wondering how long it takes to make a piece like this.
Absolutely. 您现在做的这幅大概需要多长时间，它才能够变成后面的这一幅这个画里边展示的这个样
要
子
20来天左右。
？Over 20 days for something to
Just for one
happen.
piece.
So a lot of details, a lot of work. You're going to have to need a lot of patience for that. Are you a patient person, though, Morag?
I could be for the right piece.
You could be. Why don't you be a patient person for now and try this out? 老师能不能让我们的主持人试一试？
可以啊，可以啊。
Yeah.
哦
你看嘛，你看一下，就是这一条线，把它固定在这上面。
It's a lot of needlework. I've never really worked around needles, so this looks very new, very fresh to me. Also,
Well, then I think you should try it.
I will try it after
Okay,
you.
I'll
After
try
I
first.
mock you and tease you about how
After
clumsy you are, I will come in, ace it, and laugh at you some more.
Well, now you're just getting a free lesson on how not to do
Okay,
it.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Morag Hobbs' first tryout with a needlework employed with
拉完。
Jingcang embroidery
all out?
right here.
在这儿。
哦，对称点。
Oh, right in the middle. So it's actually very intricate. And the thread I thought was very thick, but it's very, very
然后再
thin.
上来，再上来。
Oh.
So it goes down and then it goes up.
Yeah, but
Right.
you've got
真
to...
要找哦。
You gotta have really good eyes for that.
You've
For
gotta
those
have
of you kids
very
out there
good
that are
eyes.
obsessive with your iPhones, this is not a profession for you, okay? You're gonna have to have really good eyes
哦，对。
for this.
Yeah, you really need to, and also just a sense of where everything is. Okay, and now where should I put it inside? Julima?
Yeah. Notice how this is the silver thread that Morag is using, right? It makes up, you know, the line along that eve that we just talked
再上
about.
来哦。
And then one more.
老师也问您一下，就是在这个绣的过程当中，什么是最重要的？是这个对时尚的这个感知呢，还是什么？这手工里边什么是最重要的？
我们现在就是我们的金昌绣，就是就流传就1000多年了嘛，哦，然后我们现在就是会结合老传统的东西，把它跟现在年轻人审美观相结合，
It's a
就搞一些文创的
1,000-year-old
东西。
craftsmanship. They do want to bring it to more young people. So they do want to make it more relatable for young people. So whatever the younger generation, you millennials, if you're watching here, whatever you like, they're trying to incorporate that into their artwork.
Okay, I did good.
Okay, she did good. She got praise
Are you gonna do as
from the
well?
master. I do want to try.
You give it a go.
Is there something else I could try though? 有没有不一样的？就除了这个，哇，有没有不一样的能试一试，能做一
You
做？
want a new challenge? I see how it is.
不一样的还有什么我能试一试的？I want a new challenge. I'm not afraid of challenges.
现在暂时就做到这种啊，只能
做到这种
是这种。。
那这位老师在做的
它也是
东西呢
含金对。
？Okay.
刚好是。
Do you want
Okay, let
to?
me
You
try
want to
that.
play
Let me
with the
try that.
golds,
Okay,
don't
let me
you?
try that. So don't look too bad compared to what Morag just pulled
Yeah,
off.
that's the thing. You don't want to be shown
I
up.
ran away from
You
competition.
did.
啊，老师，您跟我说现在应该怎么做？So here's the needle. That's what I recognize.
就给它绑住。
给它挡住。
Well, I think you've got a tougher job because you're actually
然后
filling
呢？
in the lines.
再
Wow.
一上来
再上来，
啊，对对，
上来的时候，那我怎么能够不扎到自己的手呢？ I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself.
That's all part of the process.
That's all part of the learning process. 上来了之后呢
打出来了，好，哎，这个下没了。
？Okay, it
Oh,
broke.
you've broken it.
I broke the thread. I
He
broke the
broke
thread.
it.
I am so bad
Who
at it.
won at embroidery here? What have we
I
learned?
think she just did. I think she just did.
Yeah.
But we've got more to come, more competitions, obviously, as we go here. So don't give up on me just yet. I may have hit a bad start,
That's
but
okay,
I will
that's
catch
okay.
up.
You
I
will,
will catch
you will.
up. 好的，谢谢您给我们展示了一下这个金色的啊这一条 thread 在这儿是怎么使用的。All right, it actually is harder than it
Right?
looks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much harder. I can see why a piece would take almost a month to make.
Yeah, I can be patient. I feel like I was patient, but my clumsy hands weren't cooperating. So let's leave the masters to their work.
I think that's
and
a
let's
good idea.
move on to our next step. We have
Yeah.
a lot to show you today.
We do. We have a very busy tour today, so I'm gonna.
Remember how
Pass.
Morag told you that we're going to see a lot of hustle and bustle today? This is a quiet courtyard.
It
But
is.
then when we go out of this, you're going to see a lot of that hustle and bustle in just a few moments. So follow us as we make our way to one of the most visited and also the busiest parts of the city of Quanzhou.
But first, I'm a little bit thirsty. I'm not gonna lie. It's really
Same
hot.
here.
I think
Same
I need to
here.
pick
You can
me
see
up.
that again.
Yeah. So shall we just go and check out this coffee shop? I think there's one just up here.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know this place.
Do you?
I do.
Now, one of the things I really like about this place is it's trying to bring modern China together with the traditional China. And you can see that already in this kind of framework, right? This is the original roof kind of design.
Yes, it's very Mingnan style, meaning the south of Fujian. You're going to see a lot of that today, even inside of this coffee shop. It's an architectural style that is prevalent in this region. Let's check it out.
Let's go in. Oh, look.
Let me get the
it's-
door for you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Let me do that. All
Hey,
right.
你好. Hello, hello. 你好.
您好，店长您好，您好。So this is the shop owner and also I know the designer of the shop，对不对？您既是这个店的店长，也设计了这店的风格。So we were just telling our viewers how you're trying to incorporate traditional Mingnan style and the Western style。您跟我们介绍介绍这个设计的理念，什么样的叫做把闽南的这个风格也融合到了一种西式的咖啡厅的风格？
就是在现在这种比较年轻化的，大家比较喜欢这种比较网红的这种风格的状态下，但是呢，我们是觉得说，闽南的一些元素，它其实也是很时尚的，而且它在过去的时候，在这个海上丝绸之路这个起点的里，它过去也是把中国的一些很好的东西给带出去的。
He actually is echoing. 让我先翻译一下给我们的这个 viewers. He actually is echoing some of what we heard from the embroidery masters over there. That they're trying to incorporate all these elements together so that it appears to younger consumers, the younger generations. Obviously, people go for Instagram kind of style shops where they can take really beautiful pictures. But then the Mingnan culture, including the architectural style that he was talking about earlier, can also be easily incorporated and still appeals to a younger generation. That is the concept he had when designing this shop. 我们还看到这里边有一点好像是工业风的这个部分，那这个部分是怎么考虑的？ Then the industrial style that we see over in this coffee shop, how does that incorporate with the Mingnan style we talk about? And is that representative in your vision of the Western architectural style?
这方面是这样，就是说我们是想说在如果全部都是很古那可能对年轻人来讲，他的这种吸引力
Absolutely.
可能会比较少一点。而且其实很多人他在了解这种文化的时候，他是慢慢进入的嘛。所以呢，其实我们把工业风的东西融入之后，其实是放大了传统元素。就是你在这种很简洁的清水泥的风格里面，你会看到我们很多古建的小东西，你一眼就可以看得到。但是如果我里面全部都是古建，其实有时候你会应接不暇嘛。
I get it. That makes sense. If it's all old China, then it gets a little dull and a little boring. But then if it's just the elements that are decorations, that are decorating this workshop, and then obviously you're drawn to what stands out to you as older China, as ancient China. Can we take a walk with you? 我们跟您转一圈，去看一看您刚才说的。Let's take a walk and see some of the elements he was talking about here.
It is very minimalist, isn't it? A minimalist style,
Absolutely.
but with those traditional kind of architectural features
and decorations.
And I think, like this stone.
Here on the wall, right?
Yeah.
一些石雕，还有再来就是我们把闽南
The
的一些
stone
红砖
carvings right
融
here.
入到了一些空间的设计里面
Yeah.
去。
And if we can ask our cameraman to show this, the red bricks, pieces of the red bricks now made into, kind of an interior decoration element here in this coffee shop.
It's
And this
fantastic.
oil painting he was talking
用油画
about.
来表现一些闽南的建筑的风格。
We see a lot of that structure,
但是
the
我们选
eave.
择的是用简洁的风
Everywhere.
格，
Yeah.
并不是那种很繁复的感觉。
Yeah, right.
It's great. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It is fantastic. It's minimalist, as Morag was talking about. It's all making all of that on old China elements. The Mingnan culture elements really pop up to you. Yeah.
And bringing a bit of modernity to the ancient China that we've just seen.
Absolutely.
And we're going to see that a lot during today, the kind of balance between old and new, and the way Quanzhou does that very well. So I think this is very nice and representative of that.
But before
Yes,
we
let's get a coffee.
let's get a coffee because we have a very long live stream.
We do. We
If
need
you're
to-
watching us, get a drink also as we get our own. Can I have a latte, please? Do you have an iced latte, maybe?
And Bing Mei sure?
有，已经那边
Oh, already have our coffees
How do we get our
waiting.
hands on those
Yeah.
much-needed coffees here?
Oh. Oh, we're gonna need to.
So this is like a lounge area.
Oh wow!
Right? Wow!
Oh, lots
look
of stuff
at this.
to try.
Look at this after you.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay.
So
对。
what is what? I'm confused here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a little
it's
confused as well.
exquisite. I'm lost
It's
in.
incredible. This is like the most fancy coffee I've ever seen. It's a chocolate ball. I think this might be your
拿
latte.
铁啊。
Okay, this is my latte.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the Bing Mei sure.
对对，我们在一些细节上都加入了一些闽南的元素
Oh.
啊。闽
There
南
are
的
even Mingnan elements in the design of the bottle
插
here.
画啊，对
Look at that.
Fantastic.
对，然后呢，你可以把它倒到这里面。
Okay, we're gonna pour that on top.
Do you make your own coffee?
I
Like, do you have a coffee
do.
machine at home?
Well, I've got a coffee machine, but this is fantastic. Oh, it's ice in there. Okay.
Tell me what I do. 我应该做什么？
对，你就
现在
把这个奶给它倒到这里面
啊
去就好了
奶。
然后呢，这个咖啡的那个浓厚你可以自己调节
哦。
比如说
got
有
it
些人他可能比较不喜欢喝那么苦。
Oh,
Got
wow.
it.
对，哎。
Got it.
啊，比如说有些人他比较不喜欢喝那么苦，他可以少倒一点。
Okay,
啊
let's
有
go
些
for
人喜欢
stronger coffee
甜一
because
点
we've got a
啊。
long day ahead of us.
We do.
是，
Okay.
想感受一下，
Oh,
也可以拿
wow.
这个
Let me
来
get it.
拌一拌啊。
Ah,
Yeah.
delicious.
Cheers.
Delicious.
然后这里还有个果茶，
Oh, this is a fruit tea.
对。
Well, everything looks phenomenal.
这果茶有什么特别的吗？
它是那个青提的青提果茶，然后呢，我们是加入了茶，还有就是你看我们还有个冰淇淋，一个冰棍，然后做了一个融合，对。然后呢，我们现在
Are we having the same？ 这两个是一
样
样的吗？
那个是奇异果。那奇异果。
Okay.
It's very good. Almost kiwi flavor with some little bubbles in there.
然后呢，我们在一些装饰的特色来讲，这个我们融合闽南的一个红砖作为它的一个
Remember the
点，
red
变成一
bricks
个
I
杯垫。
told you just now before we walked into this lounge area? The pieces of the red bricks were used, below their floor as part of their decor. And this is used. 这是现在用作什么呢？这个
杯垫，它就是这个装饰就是更有摆盘，就是融合了闽南的风格。
Okay, we're
，Has
being
a
told.
cup placer.
对，就是把年轻的，还有这种时尚的，还有这种传统的做一种融合。
So again, you see a combination of modernity and traditional Minnan culture elements here. I think that is very appealing, at least to me.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And you can get an Insta picture here too.
Yeah.
In front of the tree with your drinks.
Yeah.
But without further ado, we've had some coffee. Shall we move on to our next stop?
I think we should move on, but thank you so much for the tour and for the introduction. 谢谢老板，谢谢老板。
不客气，不客气。
He's the boss and the designer of this place.
Wow.
Let me get one more sip before I go.
Yeah.
This is too good. This is too
too
good.
good.
This is too good. Okay. I'm not even using a straw. I'm very barbaric today. Bear with me
喝
here.
完了也尽量一点。
I did steal the straw. All right. Feel revitalized.
谢谢老板，谢谢。
Ready for the next stop. Now
All
we're
right,
going
I
to go.
intend to be more civil as we continue on our tour here.
So one of the things I think about the history of Quanzhou is this difference in the old and new and different cultures, right? So what makes Quanzhou so special?
I think what the Quanzhou people are really proud of is its inclusiveness. It's there's a diversity of cultures and religions, and that's partly because, Quanzhou was this key hub, the starting point of the ancient maritime Silk Road. So you got an exchange of people, and they brought with them their culture, their religion, and by extension, their civilizations, and they have coexisted in harmony in this city for so long. There is a lot for you to honor that history and for you to remember that. Like you're reminded all the time that this has been an open city, a very inclusive city. We're going to show some of that to you, of course, today.
Yeah.
Stay with us on our live streaming.
And I think some of that also comes down to even the architecture around, maybe, some of the temples and things, but also just the architecture on the normal streets, like this street that we're coming onto just now. It's got a kind of a European vibe to some of the buildings. And that's because it was the starting point of the Maritime Silk Road. So many people were coming over and from Europe and the Middle East. It was a big blended city of different cultures and feelings, and yeah, just an incredible place to be, I feel like, hundreds of years ago.
Absolutely.
And although it's not that famous today, it was so famous back in the day, and even Marco Polo came here, said it was the best port he'd ever seen. So
yes, he had a lot of great things to say about Quanzhou, and he really cherished and valued and loved a lot of things here. Locally produced white porcelain, as record show, was among the items he took with him while he departed Quanzhou back to Europe. So he loved the local goods here. We have another team visiting the local kilns here. So if you're special with us on our special series, Rising Star Cities, you're going to see as we demonstrate, as we showcase to you a lot of the local stuff, the local goods here. Oh.
And one of the things I love about Quanzhou is because it's not that famous today, you get a real sense of real Chinese life. And as you can see, the streets are very busy. It's a Friday evening here. Everyone's coming back from work. Everyone's going out for dinner.
It's almost dinner time. It's only going to get busier.
It is, and you really get we're walking down a very busy street right now, and people are going about their daily life. And actually, even though this looks like a tourist center and a shopping center, people are living still upstairs and behind these little hutongs, and coming here to do things like get a haircut.
Get a haircut. I mean, how often do you get a haircut?
Maybe less often than I I should, but it's very expensive for a girl, right? It's an expensive process. How often do you get your haircut?
I get a haircut once every 2 weeks, so it's very frequent. I do that a lot, but I managed to have found a guy that's, you know, relatively, I think it's medium priced.
Yeah.
It's very economical.
Is it 20 kwai though?
It's not 20 kwai, but today we're going to show you a place where you can get a haircut for just 20 kwai, and that's like $3 US. How unbelievable is that?
That is very cheap. I think I might have to get one right now. Let's go in and take a look and see if he's got any customers, shall we?
And the price is not the only surprise here. This barbershop is actually, if you look at the name here, the Grand Shanghai Barbershop. And what is so grand in this place? Let's find out.
Yeah, let's pop inside.
All right, come with us as we head into this barbershop.
Now, this is exactly what I was talking about, the mix of old and new. We've just been to the new, and now we've been transported back to the 80s.
It's like a time machine. This
It
is
is.
80s Shanghai. You get an instant feel of Shanghai or any other major Chinese city at the time. A lot of the decor in this room, including the chairs, the equipment they're using, and we are told that even their techniques are from the 80s. We're going to see if that makes a difference.
I wonder if the haircuts are the same though. What about the styles? I don't know if perms are still in, right?
I think they can do perms here. Look at that. I think that's where they do.
Oh, that is a fur perm.
That's for perms. Check this out.
Wow.
I don't think this one is still working, but
It would
this
be
is
pretty incredible if it
reminiscent.
was.
Yes, of the time when girls and ladies would get a perm at a barbershop like this one. So there's a very strong retro feel
It is
as soon as you walk in.
And
Even for
upstairs-
someone who don't know as much about 80s Shanghai, you feel that.
I feel like I'm in 80s Shanghai, yeah.
Yes.
And upstairs they also have a coffee shop. We don't have time to go up today, but it's the perfect place for a little Instagram. So yeah, if you're ever in town, you can come here, get a 20 kwai haircut, and maybe a coffee. Probably not 20 kwai, but
Probably it'll cost you a little bit more than a haircut. But if you're into Instagram styled pictures, this definitely is the place to be. You're gonna get a lot of likes on that picture you post because you've been transported into older Shanghai now. Let me see if I can talk to the master here a little bit. 老师能不能问一下你？Can I have that microphone if somebody has that microphone? 老师能不能问一下您今天现在在剪的这个男士的发型，是不是也有一些80年代的这个元素在里边呢？ Okay, so I'm asking him whether he's cutting the hair the same way he did in the 80s, and he's been nodding. So this customer here has got an 80s style.
80s style? 很帅。
很帅，很帅。Okay, now he's paying, and you don't use cash here in China anymore.
That's one thing that makes me feel like
you did use cash in Shanghai back in the 80s, but in 2022, it's a little scan of the QR code. You're ready to pay.
That makes me feel like I'm in modern
I do want to see how
times.
much he's paying, though. Let me see.
Oh, is
We
it 20
promised our
kwai?
viewers it's 20 kwai, it's 20 yuan, which is equivalent to $3 US. Let's find out if that's what's happening here.
Oh, he's
多
not
少
going to
钱
show.
啊，大哥？ It's 15 kwai.
15,
It's
even
15
cheaper.
kwai.
Even
Ladies and
cheaper.
gentlemen, 15 kwai for a haircut. That's a little bit
is
more than $2.
Almost theft, I feel.
Yes. The cheapest in Quanzhou. This gentleman just told me it's the cheapest in Quanzhou.
哇。
您来这儿剪发剪了多长时间了？
我来这边剪了起码剪30-40年了。
30-40年。
Wow.
从小就开始。
这个店有一直在这个店吗？
这个解放前就开始。
He's been coming to this barber shop, get this, for
这个应该有
3
70
to
年了。
4
Wow.
decades. This shop has
70-80 年了，
been in
这个店。
place for between 7 to 8 decades. It's been coming
没有
here
解
half
放
of
就
that time.
有了。
That is incredible. I did not know that. You know, 好，
没有解
再问您，
放就有了
再采访您一个问题，您最喜欢这儿的什么？除了价格便宜，还喜欢它的什么
他这个剪的比较传统。
？Okay.
比较
He
传统。
went for the traditional
比较
style
传
here.
统。
Asked him, on top of the price, why he came here. He likes the traditional style. 比较传统。
对。 比较传统，
然后一直是这位老师给您剪吗？
对，这个师傅他就是说在这边的几十年了，给他剪的一种习惯。
哦 he's been coming here for decades, and this is his go-to person. 谢谢您，谢谢您。This is very his go-to guy. 刚才我们听到啊，这个店已经是好几十年了。您这位顾客，
这一家店一般，这一家店是100年老店，因为我们的第二代的那个老板娘还在。
第二代老板娘啊，好像是一共有几代了就经营这个店？
这到我们这一代可能要第三代了。
They've had 3 generations working in this barbershop, so it's in a way a family business.
Fantastic.
Right?
And why did they decide to keep the 80s decor? I love it, but I'm just wondering, is there any reason behind it?
对，女主持问呢，您能不能跟我们聊一聊为什么要保持这种80年代的风格？就是装修的风格，然后我们的这个器材。
这个装修的风格，它是市政府有在修这条中山路的时候，是以旧修旧嘛，因为我们过去是老式的，但是我们过去这个是楼板的，是木板的，现在是那个水泥的嘛，不一样了嘛，换了。但是装修风格都全部都是保持那个60年代以后的，67年代的时候的，都保持这个原貌保留下来。但是比较那些老人家比较复古一点。但是在这一边
One thing he talked about is that because people had been coming here for decades, they wanted to keep the decor the same, so people are familiar with the place they come to, and that has been a major draw for a lot of their customers. 好的，那谢谢您接受我们的采访，谢谢您。好的。
我们这些全部这些椅子都是差不多都有些年代了，还有这一个，我们这一个呀还保留着，这一把也是啊。这一个没人，现在还是有用的。这
个是做什么用的？来，就是那种烫头的，是不是？
对。就火烫。
This is the primitive version of your
curlers.
curlers.
Oh my goodness.
这一边火烤了，红了再烫那个头发。
Wow.
Young people out there, this is how we used to do things, with this iron.
这个我们还保留着，还是有人在做。
Okay. 现在还能用吗？你的意思是？
就是在用。你看。
It is working today. It is working today.
All you need is fire, right?
All you need is fire and some coal, and that's good to go.
好，谢谢老板。
谢谢。
All right.
What an
I'm gonna keep this mic.
What an incredible experience. I did not expect that they had been in business for that long, and people keep coming back for the decor, for the techniques.
And for that price.
And for that price.
Yeah, I think it's all about the price.
I haven't heard about that price anywhere.
That is an absolute bargain. Now, we are out of the barbershop and we're just passing what is the biggest church in Fujian province.
The Quanzhou Church. It's the first Christ church in Quanzhou. And now we understand it's the biggest Christ church in all of Fujian.
And it's very old as well. As we were saying just before, Quanzhou has this melded, mixed culture, and it's very open to different religions. And back in 1863, a preacher from the English Presbyterian Church came to Quanzhou to preach. And in 3 years after, he made enough money to buy the piece of land just behind us and build this incredible structure. Now, it has been rebuilt 3 times since then in the 140 years, but I think that just shows you how much...
Oh, the door is opening.
Oh, the doors are opening.
They have services today, as indicated here in the schedule. It's Friday. They do have a service.
Yeah, they've got services
7:30 to 9. Yeah.
So religion's still alive and well, and you will see around Quanzhou much more Christians, but also Muslims as well, and Buddhists. And we'll see that in the architecture as we go around as well. This kind of mix of different architectural styles, but also religions that are still active today.
Absolutely. Some of the most iconic historical sites, historical buildings in Quanzhou are actually, as Morag was telling you, religious structure. We're talking about the Islam tombs, the Lao Tzu statue, which is of Taoism, and the Kaiyuan Temple, which we will show you in just a few moments, is of course Buddhist. It's the largest Buddhist temple here in Fujian province. So we're not just talking about history. A lot of that is preserved to this day, very visible in the city.
And Quanzhou is such an iconic place for its historical structures that it was actually added to the UN World Heritage List last year, right?
Only last year, so it's very new. What happened is that it failed in an attempt earlier
Oh.
But then everybody was like, you know, this is such a great historical city. We have so many sites. So they combed through all the historical sites they have, and they came up with 22 historical sites scattered around the city that collectively prove Quanzhou's status as the starting point of the ancient maritime Silk Road and its position as the world emporium in ocean commerce back in the Song and Yuan dynasties. They went for another try in 2021 and they got on the list. I feel like that's a huge draw for tourists who have yet to come to Quanzhou. There is so much to see. You won't be disappointed.
A lot of people go to Xiamen that's just up the road because it's got the beaches, it's got the food, but Quanzhou has the heritage and the history and the culture that I think is so different from everywhere else in China. So definitely worth a look. Actually, maybe our next live stream should be going to all 22 sites.
I love that idea. I love that idea. It's funny because people always draw comparison between Xiamen and Quanzhou. You know, Quanzhou has had to overcome so much to have its status, not just on the UNESCO World Heritage side, but as an economic powerhouse here in Fujian. Because Xiamen is another coastal powerhouse that has the talent, the money, and everything. Then Fuzhou, which is the provincial capital, has had the policy support and the monetary support. So Quanzhou is sort of caught up in the middle. It has to really, you know, fight its way out of the two, and it did that. In terms of its economy, you know, Quanzhou crossed that threshold of 1 trillion yuan as annual GDP in 2020, and up to that point, it had been the biggest economy within the province, the biggest GDP numbers for 22 years.
Wow.
To
really?
think that, yes.
Wowee.
So that's very impressive. That's really
It
remarkable.
is.
We are now approaching a crossroads where the West Street meets the East Street. This is the city life that you don't want to miss here in Quanzhou.
Here's the
Hustle and
clock
bustle
tower
again.
that's been around for almost 100 years. It was built in 1934, if I'm not mistaken. And
That's
did you
exactly
say it's
correct.
one of three
One
clock
of three
towers?
bell towers here in Quanzhou. The other two were built in more modern time. This one, was Morag was telling you, was built in 1934, so over 80 years old. It's still functional. The traffic lights are right there.
I don't think the traffic lights are 80 years old.
They're not, but they are embedded there. They're very functional. It's a little bit European style. Can you see that?
It's got the European style, and also a lot of these buildings around here do have hints of European style. And when we're walking through onto West Street now, you'll really see some of that as well.
Yes, let's
so
cross
this
the
is a
street
great
now.
place to go at the start of your tour of Quanzhou. It's a very iconic area. And as you said, it's leading onto West Street, which is my favorite street in Quanzhou.
And
why is that?
We're going to find out why it's Morag's favorite street in just a second. Let me tie up my shoes here.
Oh, no.
Give me just one second. I am
the
all set
smells
to
are
go.
already hitting me.
Yeah.
Now, West Street.
And it's dinner time.
It is dinner time,
So
it's
we're
gonna be
getting in the
very busy.
mood. And I hope you're getting in the mood because we have a lot of food to show you coming up on our live stream today.
Yeah, if you've just joined us, we're in Quanzhou City in Fujian Province, and we're just coming onto West Street. Now, West Street, did you know this, is 1,300 years old.
I did know this, and it has that ancient vibe here. The structure, the directions where the streets are built, all of it speak of a long history here in Quanzhou. But today, because of the shops that have been built that are lining up the street here, it also has that modern feel we keep telling you about. And there are all kinds of eateries, food stalls along the street. We're talking about ice drinks, we're talking about snacks, we're talking about bubble tea,
We're
coffee
talking
shop,
about
bakery, everything.
And because Quanzhou is on the coast and one of its main exports and industries was through the sea, so seafood and fishing, a lot of the food is seafood related, which is great for me.
I'm really working up an appetite here, and if you're just joining us here, your timing is perfect.
Yeah, we're going to try our first food soon. I'm very excited for it. What are some of the common foods in Quanzhou? So we've got oyster omelette, which sounds a little strange, but I think it's delicious. ginger duck. You tried that last night. How was it?
I tried that. It was medicinal. It's a lot of herbs cooked with the duck, so it tastes medicinal. A lot of people believe in the healing power of herbs, and for them, this is the dish to go.
Okay.
You get duck, you get herbs, so you feel like you're consuming, you're taking in all of those nutrients all at once.
And lots of bubble tea around. Now, bubble tea did originate in Taiwan, but now it's huge all over China, but especially in Fujian. I don't think I've seen this many bubble tea shops in one street ever in my life. So, but it is hot, so we
when
should
you go
get
for
some
bubble tea, do you go for full sugar, half sugar, no sugar?
I'm a half sugar kind of girl.
I
Yeah, what
try to
about you?
be a no sugar kind of guy,
No!
but I fail at that constantly because, you know, on the one hand, you are thinking about your wellness, your
Yeah.
health, but then on the other hand, we gotta indulge once in a while,
Thinking about
right?
the deliciousness of that delicious sugary beverage.
That's hard to resist. I
Yeah.
have failed once and again when it comes to my sugar choice.
But we are almost at our first food stop, and I'm very excited. Now, xiaolongbao. When you talk about xiaolongbao or dumplings, what do you think of? Where do you think of?
I think about the xiaolongbao from Shanghai,
Yeah.
which is like a household food name in Shanghai, a must try in Shanghai. It's very soupy. There's a lot of water, a lot of soup in the skin, so you're going to have it in one mouthful.
Or
And
like
if you're-
bite into it and
You have to be
slurp
very,
it
very
out.
careful because
Yeah.
it's so hot in the middle. The fillings are so hot. It can turn into a very messy situation when you eat Shanghai xiaolongbao, especially if you're new to this. But then we're told the Quanzhou xiaolongbao is a little bit different. How is it different?
Well, we're gonna
Let's
find
come here
out.
and ask this
Hey,
lady
老板
here.
你好。
老板你好。
你好。
我们刚才在说这个上海小笼包和泉州小笼包，包括您家的小笼包的这个区别，您能不能简单的给我们讲一讲您家的小笼包的特色是什么？
我们家的小笼包就是以前的那小时候的口味。
So it tastes from childhood. It's very reminiscent of what people had when they were kids.
吃起来就会回味无穷。等一下就赏了。
So she's inviting us to taste for ourselves and really see if any memory comes back up
Yes.
after
我
tasting
要
their
试试。
小笼
我们
包。
吃的都是回头客的。
They have a lot of customers that keep coming back. Okay.
Okay, let's have a try.
How can I get our hands on some
I
of the
think we need
小笼包 here?
to.
好 Yes.
试一下。
我现在在这儿能看到吗？就这小笼包，
能啊
能看到啊。
可以
那您先给我们看一看吧，好不好？让我们的这个摄像机拍一拍。
因为看咱这个小笼包，
Ooh. I can smell
The
that
steam.
delicious. Yeah. So there are lots of people sitting in today, but one of the things about West Street which make it the best place for eating is that everything is dabao, everything is to go. So you can choose to sit in if you want, but you can also get these to go and just eat as you walk along, which is definitely my favorite way.
我们就在这个地方尝吧，我们就不走进去了，因为这样我们的相机啊什么的好拍，好不好？
Wow, they look delicious.
Wow.
They do look less soupy.
Yes, that's what I
They
heard.
look a lot more doughy, which I think is going to be, 谢谢.
好，
It's
谢
going to
谢
be
老
great.
板。
来，还有谁啊？
他们现在腾不出手，Their hands are all full, but I'm sure they will be
So
very
kind.
tempted. All of them are very tempted.
Ooh, okay. This is going to be very hot.
Careful,
等一下会烫的。
careful.
会烫的。注意啊！
How is it?
It's really hot.
It's really hot for
But
sure.
it's really good.
It's literally just been made.
Not
Look at the
soupy
steams.
at all, but very juicy inside, porky, and I think water chestnut in there. A little bit less sweet than the Shanghai xiaolongbao. Very fresh, very delicious.
这些都是小时候
So is it more like a snack or does it make a meal? It's more like an entree.
Depends
if
how
you
many
will.
you eat, I suppose. I could
That's
eat
a great
20
point.
and
That's
that
a
would
great
be a
point.
meal.
I do want to taste one
You need to
also
taste one.
and see.
这个皮也
how I
是用
feel.
那个发酵的。
Thanks for the reminder that it's super hot.
It's
I'm taking
very,
my
very
time.
hot, yeah.
I'm taking my time.
我们这个
So
皮也是
fancy.
来发酵的。
Yes. It's Morag is right. It's a lot less soupy, so it's safer to consume. It's safer to eat. You don't get a lot of water coming out of all the directions.
It's like a little soft pillow.
We're gonna make terrible food vloggers if this is what we can say about the xiaolongbao we eat.
It's so juicy and it's just so filled with that delicious pork filling as well.
Yes.
I think this is the only filling they have. This is what they're known for. This is what they're good at. So
Let me ask them, 这个里边的馅儿都是一样的吗？就是都是一种，都是一样的。So they have the one and the same filling here. This is delicious. 老板，谢谢你，非常感谢，非常感谢。Let me try this in one mouthful.
谢谢你。
不用谢，
就是，谢谢。
不用谢，不用谢。
Put that in my pocket.
我
Bye bye. And so actually we didn't get, I'll speak for you, don't worry. So we didn't get to say as well, but this Lao Ban is a very kind-hearted woman. Actually, her restaurant employs previously laid off women who are looking for work and new opportunities. So everyone inside was previously laid off, but now has employment again. And you're still chewing.
Almost done, almost there. Bear with me 1 second.
How crazy busy this is. It's really like stepping back in time, and this is one of the reasons that I love this area. It's so vibrant, and all these locals have come down to enjoy their Friday night, and it really kind of throws you back in time. Even though the shops are so modern, it's exactly the same way it would have been even 1,000 years ago. People selling their wares on the street, little shacks by the side of the road. It's just fabulous.
Don't you just love this? I'm back up now.
He's back!
That's why you gotta have a partner to save your life on a live stream when you're too busy chewing the xiaolongbaos. I mean, I just love this part of the city life where you blend in with the local people and you just pretend that this is where you live now. You pretend to be a local. That's part of the fun. When I travel, I like blending in. I like to what the locals do, where the locals go. And this definitely is where everyone comes for dinner. It's Friday evening. People come here for dinner, for snacks. They have a chill night planned out for them. So much fun.
All different ages as well. You can see kids on maybe like a little friends date, or like couples, families, even elderly people out and about just to enjoy some snacks.
An all-purpose street, if you will, all types of destinations right here on this street, the West Street in the center of Quanzhou. And if you don't know what to eat, don't worry, because you can check out all of these stalls, all of the shops right now lining up the streets and make your own decision. We just told you that you've got a little bit of everything.
Everything,
so
absolutely
everyone can
everything.
find something here.
Yeah, and if you're not sure, try one of everything. Everything's in small portions. You can try a little pancake here, a little xiaolongbao there, a little wrap. I can see some meats and some treats, and yeah, it's great. Now the ice creams are the big hit just now, and I can understand why. It's roasting.
This is a chain. This is where people get cold drinks, sugary drinks, teas. You can see long lines of people lining up here.
So I guess the longer the line, the better the product, right?
What kind are you? Do you go to the shop that has the longest lines, or try to avoid those?
I try and avoid the lines. I hate queuing.
But that's an indicator that the stuff there is good.
But I do feel like queuing is something much more common in China. If people see people queuing for something, maybe they don't know what's at the front, but they'll queue just in case it's something good.
Yes.
Whereas back where I'm from, if you see a queue, you walk the other way. You stay away. You Google it and find out what.
Yeah, you find out on Yelp whether it's good enough for you, and then you go there. And now word of mouth is so strong. You know, people go to the store that has the best reputation that people talk about, and that's how the lines come up.
Yeah, and one place that doesn't have a line, but that's because everyone has bought theirs already today, is the next shop we're gonna stop off at, and this is a China famous snack. Now, I thought this was tang yuan, which is something that people eat at festival times. It's a sweet soup with these white glutinous rice balls, but this is not the same. What is this?
I mean, people easily confuse these two. I mean, yuanshao and tangyuan, they're so similar in shape and a lot of times in taste as well. But yuanshao is more like a festival food. You eat it on the Lantern Festival, which falls on the 14th of the Chinese Lunar New Year. Of course, you can have, you know, a bag of these in your fridge and eat whenever you want. But then it's more a festival food than tangyuan. Tangyuan is more southern. You know, it's eaten by people in the south. They can be both very sweet. And let's find out about the sweet dumplings here. If you're a sweet tooth, this is the place to go.
Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of a demonstration, I think, which is very exciting. Okay.
So this is how the fillings come into shape, right? 这个是馅儿是吗？对，这个是馅儿。好，我们刚才在说元宵和汤圆的主要区别有一点是它们的做法不同，对不对 ？As we were telling you earlier, 元宵 and 汤圆 differ in the way they get made. So we're gonna check out how 元宵 are made here. 那您跟我们展示一下元宵是怎么做的，好不好？好。
Okay, so we're gonna have a little look.
我们主要是用元宵是用敲打的。
A lot of
sort of press down the filling to make this shape. So I actually thought these were dried, but they're not. They're just pressed into shape. That's incredible.
So everyone is the same size, shape.
Ready. It's quite difficult work to make one delicious ball.
Yes. So which one of us will take on this challenge
I think
of
it should
making
be you.
It should be
first.
me. Okay.
Yeah.
那我也来试一试好不好？老板来敲这个的过程。They obviously become very adept at it. They make it so fast. And me, because I want to avoid getting my fingers hammered out, I'm going to go slow.
So what exactly is in this filling again?
这个馅料里边是什么呢？跟我们说一下。
主要有花生、芝麻，还有白糖、猪油等一些上等的材料。
And sugar.
That sounds delicious. I hope that I'm going to get to taste one as well.
对，装在这个容器里面。
So pop it in there.
It'll take me 100 years to make a full bowl of fillings. 再加一点. Oh, it's not enough.
Not enough. You need to make it to quality standard. Come on.
Okay, what do I do next? 这个放下去. Okay.
And now the moment of truth.
This is the tricky part. If you're betting now, bet on me not hurting myself. I will not fail you. How do I know it's ready? 我怎么知道它已经好了呢? I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it does
I want to do
sound
more.
great.
Okay, 差不多。
然后翻过来，转一下，下面先转。对，
转一下。
对，然后拖出来。
Ooh.
这样拖，下面拖。
要这样吗？要这样吗？
转过来拖，
转过来拖。
这样拖，这样哦，这样慢慢拖起来。
Yeah. Oh, so professional.
再转一下。
对 ，OK.
It looks so
How
good.
about that? It
Well
looks
done.
just like the one made by our
It
Laoban, our
does.
boss, our shop owner, right now.
Well done. That was impressive. You've won at this.
Yes. Do you want to try it also?
I would love to try.
Yes, please. I mean, be careful around the hammer, but
Yeah, I
that
need to
really
be
is
careful
the
of-
fun part.
The hammer is the fun
谢谢
part.
老板。
Okay.
这样来给它讲了。
So
没关系，他有那个麦克风。
put it in here.
She doesn't need to be taught. She's such a fast learner.
Let's see.
Let's see. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's not jump to
够了吗？
conclusions too soon.
可以再装一点，对。
Okay. They want it full, so when you hammer it down, it's really tight.
It's tight.
It's
and the
tight.
perfect.
It's perfect.
Okay.
对对对。
All right,
Up.
here comes the fun part again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
再敲一次。
All
Don't you just
right.
love that?
Oh, and then you take off the top.
对了，
And
然
then
后拖出
we-
来。对，
Ah.
对，转一下。
Perfect.
Oh, it smells
Perfect.
amazing.
Perfect.
Anyone that knows what sesame paste smells like, it's kind of got that sesame peanut, delicious, full, rich flavor. Well, smell.
And you can smell all
Yeah.
of these too in the fillings.
It's amazing.
Okay. 然后它做完了是什么样子？我们能不能再看一看？
Then,
我们就是线用敲的，然后皮用滚的。
英滚的。
对，
oh wow.
Oh.
然后这个是沾水，一沾水。
摇的那个过程你也给我们展示一下好吗？
那你改来这边， 对，也要用线。
要用线，要用线，
线哦
能用线做一下吗？OK。
可以。
Let's check out how the fillings become
Yeah,
the final
thank you.
product. It's called white snow sweet dumpling. So as you can see here.
First of all, it goes into the water and then goes into the flour.
Oh.
Now, is this a special kind of flour?
这个面粉是很特别的嘛，它这个粉它
这个
就是普通的
糯米粉。
糯米粉
对我们这边的
glutinous
对
rice flour.
So it's going to have that lovely chewy texture on the
会比较
outside.
Q 弹。
Oh.
So the idea is just to go back and forth until the coating is thick enough.
一直重复。
对，
对，因为它这样
要重复多少遍？
就是10几遍。
十几遍 OK. You're gonna have to do it a dozen times before you get that final sweet dumpling.
Yeah, because these
So
are
it gets
huge.
bigger with like
Yeah.
every round you do.
这个就是煮好。
Oh, wow. And
I
then-
do want to try this. I do want to try this.
Okay,
because
yeah,
I-
you give it a
直接接
go.
下去了。
Yeah, 对啊，
马上
我来看啊。
对，直接可以。
This also looks great fun.
Great fun. I can make a whole dance out of this.
这个是
不是这样。
对，手动。
Okay.
手动。
Oh, yeah, no dancing.
I'm not banned from dancing. No body
dancing.
movement, just the hands.
对。
Okay.
And then add them to the water.
Add them to the water. 是要用这个把它放进去，对不对？
把这个放在这里。
但是我这个能粘这里边吗？啊，不是，
手。对。
用手把它放进去。
对。
OK，用手把
Use
它
your
放进
hands.
去。OK，
对。
然后放进水里边，dip it。
马上起来。
好，马上捞上来。
对，只是让它吸附点水。
OK，再放过去。
对，
倒下去。好
And then
，Got it。
dance
Got
again with
it.
it.
More dance moves. Look how well I'm doing.
I think they're like half the size, so it is a long process to make these. I never understood. We're going to have a quick taste before we have to
Sure,
move on.
absolutely. Let me put it down here.
Okay.
Do you want to try it?
I'm okay. We've got limited time. I think you did
We're a little
great.
bit pressed for time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna come straight to the finished
Now,
product.
Look at this
that.
deliciousness. Now, I think we can just have a bite each. Wow, and that's the final product. Absolutely delicious, and I'm very excited to try. We're going to
Yes,
try at the
same
same
here.
time.
可能有点烫。
It's very glutinous. Remember, the flour they use is a special glutinous flour, so it has that chewy.
If you've ever tried mochi, it's that kind of texture, very chewy, very nice. And the difference with these ones is the inside is much more textured, not as smooth. So crunchy on the inside, chewy and glutinous and smooth on the outside, and a little less sweet than Tangyuan.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It actually is.
这个就是吃一下，然后配那个汤，配汤里面的汤，对，这样子组合，对，里面的吃起来就是
I'm gonna finish this one.
口感会比较
很好吃啊，很好吃。
谢谢。
不喝了，老板，谢谢。
谢谢你。
谢谢。这他们要喝水吗？这是，谢谢，谢谢。
不客气，
哦，拜拜。
拜拜拜拜。
They say that you have to have water
Oh, you need
after you
water
eat the
afterwards.
sweet dumplings. So we're
makes
gonna go.
sense.
Yep.
And one of the things I love about this place is everyone's been so kind, so welcoming. There's not so many tourists around, so you get a real feel of Quanzhou, and you're treated like
Yeah.
one of the tourists.
And they-
one of the locals, sorry.
They're not just doing that for us. I believe if you're just a tourist and you walk in, you ask how that is made, they're more than happy to tell you that. They're more than
Yeah.
happy to share with you something they treasure so much.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take a little.
Sure. Now I'm gonna tell you, along this street, you know, we have a little bit something for everyone. Sweet tooths, go to that sweet dumpling place.
Yeah, you need to check it out.
And then if you're a pancake kind of guy, we have a lot of shops that sell different types of pancakes. I mean, pancakes are kind of universal, right? You have it in a lot of cultures, in a lot of countries. Oh,
But
before-
first, we need
before we
to
do
have
that-
a little stop off in one of these hutongs. Now, yes, there's something for everyone in terms of food, but also in terms of history. And we're going to take you to a very special place, which is actually the center point of Old Quanzhou. And it's quite special because it's a tower, right? It looks
It's a
like a pagoda.
It's
It is a pagoda.
It is a pagoda at over 4.5 meters. This was what marked the city center, the old city center of Quanzhou. It's very funny because this is a feng shui pagoda. It is standing there to guard off evil spirits and to safeguard the security, the protection of the people, the security of the city. So a lot of symbolism around this pagoda.
But the funny thing is today, it's in the middle, in the middle of a housing area. So actually we can't get too close to it because it would be trespassing. But we can take a little look. And if you're lucky enough to live in this building, you've got the center of Quanzhou Pagoda right outside your bedroom window.
Right outside your window. How cool is that? If you're running like a bed and breakfast or like a service, this will be a very cool selling point. You have the pagoda right outside your window. You're going to be the envy of other people, and it's really easy to find. Just find old Quanzhou Center. You find the pagoda, you find your place.
Yeah, you can tell the postman, the center of Quanzhou, and he's like,
exactly,
where?
Exactly.
The
No
center
zip code needed. Come to the center of old Quanzhou.
And people
behind
have
the pagoda.
put prayers and wishes in the tree outside, and actually some inside as well. But yeah, would you like to have a pagoda outside your bedroom window?
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a movie scene.
It does a little.
Right? Yeah.
With that, shall we go get some more food?
Absolutely. So we are heading back this way into the street where we have so much to show you still about the food choices on that street.
It's amazing how quiet it is just behind the main street, right?
Absolutely.
Out there, you cannot move for people. So chilled, so quiet, you can hardly hear the buzzing and the beeping of traffic and
I always
bikes.
wonder what it is like to live so close to, a busy tourist destination or commercial street where there are so many people coming and going. But it's really not that bad. We're a few meters from the bustle and hustle of that street, and it's so quiet and serene in here.
Peaceful.
People actually live here. It's so cool.
Wow, lots of little bars and restaurants all over the place. So definitely something for everyone. Once you've checked out the hustle and bustle of the main street, you can come and weave your way around all these hutongs and find the hidden gems behind the main street as well.
Just make sure you don't trespass into somebody's home.
Yeah, I do wonder how these guys deal with that when lots of tourists
I think that
come
does
down.
happen,
It
right?
must
Some
do.
wandering tourists accidentally walking into your courtyard and looking around, and you're in your pajamas doing whatever you're doing.
Hopefully you're in your pajamas. Anyway, what do you fancy eating next? What's your taste buds tingling for?
I'm still going for snacks. I think I could have more snacks.
More snacks, more snacks. Wait,
Not
luckily
looking for real meals or entrees, but something that I can eat on the walk.
Yeah, I mean, that is what this place is all about, right? You don't want to fill up too quickly or have a big meal.
I mean, the sitting
because
area
then-
is very limited. It normally is very small. So if you fancy a little eat on the walk, you can do that with a lot of the food here.
What's your overall feeling of West Street so far? We're about halfway up, and this is one of your first times in Quanzhou. What's your feelings towards the place so far?
It's so vivid. It's so lifelike. I mean, this is the local life here. I can totally picture people, coming here, as you said, for dates. They can come here for a stroll, just check out the street, get some food. The sun feels absolutely amazing.
It does, actually.
It's just a very easy neighborhood, I think. I wouldn't
Very
mind living
chilled.
around here. Very chill.
Very chilled indeed. And lots of different things that I can see here. What's this? Some jelly?
I think some jam-like cakes.
And some
it's very
ice
colorful.
cream. And fried octopus, fried seafood. And a lot of the restaurants here have so much seafood. We're not necessarily going to have any today.
Yes.
It's a little hot. Wow, look at this place. Lots of fried foods as well. Lots of fried snacks.
Lots of fried snacks, lots of cold stuff.
And here's another fried snack here right now. Something a little bit different.
A little bit different, but this one is authentic because it isn't made on the intangible cultural heritage list accredited by the Quanzhou government. So this is officially stamped.
And this is a kind of pancake. So throughout history, people have taken offerings to temples all over China. And as part of those offerings, people take a lot of food, things their ancestors might have liked, vegetables, fruits, and meat. And afterwards, after they've gone to the temple, they'll come back and mix up all the leftovers in a big pan.
Cook it a little bit more.
Yeah. And then make a very simple, almost taco shell, little pancake shell, wrap it up with some extra fillings and flavorings, and then that's their dinner. So they can eat kind of the same as their ancestors.
Don't worry, they're not selling temple offerings now. That's just how the tale goes.
That's just how the tale goes.
You know, that's just a tale. That's how people used to do. Now, everything is cooked fresh.
Everything's fresh,
it's
you can
all
see.
legit. Don't worry.
And it's a very interesting method as well. The boss here is kind of popping flour on, spreading the flour around, the mixture around, and then
make it
taking
really, really
off.
thin, right?
Super
it's
thin.
Very thin.
I've never seen this method before. I'm just wondering if that's an easy method. And like, what's in this flour to make it so
老板
viscous?
问一下，这个我们看现在做的这个皮儿都非常非常的薄，对不对？那我们这个非物质文化遗产，它的最重要的这个技术是什么？就是把它做的最薄吗？
又薄又白又 QQ 的。
啊 ，QQ 的。
这个是我们泉州那个是传承的。
啊。And it has been passed on from one generation to the next. And the trick here really is to make it very, very thin. As you can see, it's almost paper thin here with those skins there.
Wow, and what fillings are they using today?
今天的这个馅料是什么样的馅料？你给我们介绍一下。
最地道的泉州味。
The most authentic Quanzhou taste, they're calling it. 都有一些什么东西呢？这个馅儿里边。
这个是逢年过节都要吃这个的。
哦。
那个是有海蛎煎、火龙豆、豆干、海苔、花生酥糕。
A whole bunch of veggies mixed together. I do think that I see radish.
Oh yeah, and some peanuts, some coriander, and some cucumber perhaps? Very good if you're a vegan, because everything we've seen up till now is maybe
I
not
do
that
want to check with the boss whether it's all vegan.
Oh yeah, let's check.
是不是都是全素的，老板？这里边是没有肉的，是不是？
荤素搭配的。
荤素荤里边的肉类是什么？
有海蛎煎、绵。
海蛎。Okay, so it's a little bit of seafood mixed up in there.
Okay,
so it's not pork, it's not lamb, it's not beef.
So if you're pescatarian, no problems. Are you going to give it a
Absolutely.
try?
I do, and I hope you do as well.
I'm going to give it a try.
Okay.
All right.
Why
so
don't you
first
try
of all,
this one first?
Okay, we're just going to see the process. So the peanuts go on first, and then what is this flavoring?
We get some curious customers right now, so we're helping sell
We are.
the pancakes here.
I want to know what this dried. It looks like a herb is.
What they told me was this was a mixture of vegetables, a bunch of them mixed up together. And I think that one is mine.
That's yours. I'm gonna wait for you. It smells like maybe it's got a little bit of seaweed in it today.
老板，这个馅料每天都是一样的吗？还是每天会有一些区别？
夏天的味道，冬天的味道。
夏天和冬天的区别是什么？
谢谢。
冬天是红萝卜、豆干，还有酥糕、海蛎这些可以。
Okay, so the fillings are a little bit different in summer and in winter. In winter, it's more radish based. And there's tofu in it in the winter. Let's try it on the wok, shall we? As we told our viewers about. 老板，谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。So this is how you do Quanzhou right. Come over to the West Street, get your food. Wander around, look for the next one.
It's quite surprising, actually. There's some tofu in there, but also some seaweed sugar kind of mixture, which I've never had before.
I didn't expect the seaweed and the sugar in it. So if you're a taco person, this is the place to go.
I feel like no matter where you go in the world, right, you always have something which is bread or something wrapped and inside the filling. So yeah, tacos or a sandwich but this is perfect for on the go, just a little something.
And we've arrived at something with a very interesting name. Tastes from childhood. What would be the taste from your childhood?
Oh, any sort of cake or my mom's home cooking. Yeah, what about
So
you?
here, a lot of sugary food, right? Popsicles.
Yeah.
A lot of sugar, a lot of ice, a lot of cake.
How about you?
Same.
Same? Okay.
Same here.
So this maybe is really a
Is
taste
this
from
our
childhood.
place? Is this your place? What is the taste from your childhood? 老板能不能给我们介绍一下这个小时候的味道是指什么味道？
小时候味道就是咸州人心心念念的味道，就是咸州的最古早味那种。
The tastes from the childhoods of the Quanzhou people. 这是什么意思呢？泉州人民小时候的味道，它是甜的，它是苦的，它是香的，它是辣的。Okay, it's sweet. It's mostly sweet.
包芝麻了，花生了，红。
Sesame again.
Lots
peanuts,
of sesame here.
Brown sugar. Okay.
It looks very sweet.
So this is another kind of pancakes by the looks of it.
Ooh.
哦，我们试一下。好的。
Now, to me, this looks more like a pancake than this. This looks like a big, I mean, she's cutting off a huge slice for us.
And it's a lot thicker than what we have in our
Yeah,
hands.
it's so thick. So we're going to give it a go. But so do you recognize any of the other sweet treats here at all?
I do think this one looks familiar. 桃酥片啊. Although it says 米糕 here, so it's probably similar to what I had as a child, but a little bit different. This is, I believe, sweet, and it's made out of flour. It's sweet. It's got sesame in it. It's a snack. It's a sweet snack.
I think if you like sesames, this is the place. Oh, wow.
It's the type of snack that you will want as a child. You will
It's
want a
still
lot
so
of it,
hot.
and then your mom would come over and say, "That's enough. That's what this does."
I feel how warm and moist
It
that
is
feels.
very, very warm.
Oh, it smells like treacle. It's like a treacle sponge.
Love it. Love it. Exactly
Oh, that's the
childhood
best
because
thing
it's
I've
so
had all
soft
day.
and warm, and I think it's the brown sugar in there.
Yeah.
That's like
Melted.
every child's dream.
It's melted and gooey and delicious. And outside is chewy, but inside is so soft and gooey. Okay, now I understand. When I first saw these, I thought, how do you sell them in such big portions? But now I understand.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to eat it all in
Because
one
your
go.
kids will eat the whole thing in no time. If you have kids, if you come to Quanzhou, remember child's taste from childhood. That's the place to go.
And they cook them on these huge pans. So this is super fresh. It's just been cooked and it's been left warm. That is delightful.
That is amazing. This is good for breakfast. This is good for snacks.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
All right.
We are going to head off.
谢谢老板，
谢谢。
谢谢。
真的好吃。That is the best thing I've tried all day.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, wow.
And the next stop we're going to have is based on a tale that this very good-hearted couple, they would give tea offerings to people in the community because tea, it's not just a drink here in China, it's also a gesture. When you have guests over, you offer them tea.
That is very true. No matter where you go in China, if you enter someone's home, there will be tea waiting for you on the table.
They may not ask you coffee or tea. A lot of times they only have tea. So it's the go-to option whether you want to have some tea.
So this is now the help yourself tea station. And yeah, the story goes that this couple for 23 years were stood, I don't know if it was right here, but somewhere close on the end of a hutong in Quanzhou, handing out free tea to their neighbors. And this idea stuck as like a
Good Samaritan.
Good Samaritan
kind of
story
thing.
and give back to the community. And so it's said that they did this for 23 years and then unfortunately the husband died. But when he died, the wife set up something like this where people could help themselves and the free tea could carry on.
Such a lovely story, and it's also, it's even more lovely that people are carrying forward the tradition. The torch is being carried forward.
And you can see-
notice how it's been secured with those locks here. So you can't have people mess around with this pot.
No one's adding coffee in there,
No one's
right?
adding coffee in there. It's just tea. It's hot tea, and they have the cups here in
So
this
here
box.
is the clean cups and here are the, oh, are these the clean cups? I don't actually know.
Okay, one of these two.
One of these two. I
One
want
of
to
these two
try
has
just,
clean
just in
cups
case.
here.
But yeah, great.
Yeah.
What a lovely tale.
What a lovely tale, and what a lovely treat.
And great if you're parched after eating all these delicious snacks, and you need a little.
Yes, and sometimes
something.
water doesn't cut it. You know
No.
what I mean? You have to have some tea to go with all of these very sweet, very sugary snacks over here.
But as someone who did not grow up in China, I find it very strange that you can be so hot and still want hot tea.
Hot tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the bookshop is open.
have-
Look at this.
Yeah, we didn't know this was open, but then this is like an antique store kind of thing. You have very old books, antique everything, old books, old decorations, old ornaments.
Oh,
A lot of it
wow.
obviously embodying the Minnan style, the local
Even
style here.
tape decks. That's when you know you're in a retro shop.
I think a lot of our viewers who are too young to know what tape.
Do you know what a tape deck is? Let us know in the comments if you do. I think most of our viewers will know what a tape deck is. Or are we that ancient?
We are that ancient. We are totally dinosaurs now. If millennials have been watching,
Oh,
then
no.
they have never heard of, cassettes or anything like that.
Cassette tapes. You're missing out where you had to rewind in the player to get to the
And it
song
gets
that
stuck.
you like, and it would get stuck. Or it would get a little bit damp and then be ruined forever.
Yeah.
Kids today don't know the struggles. All kinds of old books.
Yeah, if you're an
and
antique kind of person,
diaries.
you're looking for antique books, memorabilia
Yeah.
from the older times,
Yeah.
this is the place to be. And if you're that kind of person who wants souvenirs to take home and to decorate your home with, you got a lot of that today. Pottery, red bricks, and these, I think, go with the doors here.
They do,
A little
yeah.
milk box.
A
I think it's a
milk
milk box you
box.
hit on your door, and the milkman can just
wow.
drop the bottles in.
That's
So,
fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I could stay here for hours actually, but we shall not. Oh, little
figurines.
teacups and figurines. Wow. Religious memorabilia as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
I think
English.
it's so rare and so valuable that we still have those brick and mortar stores because a lot of bookstores go out of business
They do.
these days.
They
Everything
do.
has been moved online. Everything has gone digital. So to really have a store of this size that sells not just books but everything antique, this is really incredible.
This is an English learning book from very early on. I'm trying to find the print
Really?
date.
What does it teach?
Just all sorts of English language. That's pretty incredible.
Okay.
I think that's so cool.
Can we read something from it? And does it seem like relatable or is it English language from another time?
The first sentence in it is, "A strange thing happened to me this morning."
Okay.
I was crossing the street and was almost hit by a car. I think that's quite apt for where we are.
If we don't get careful,
Yeah.
that could happen.
It's a good lesson to be learned. Don't watch out for the traffic here because maybe not cars, but lots of bikes going around.
Lots of
So people are
bikes.
busy. People have places to be, you know?
Yeah, and this is the most bikes I've seen in a city in a long time. I didn't realize that Quanzhou was this bike friendly.
Yeah, and they are everywhere. And
Yeah.
okay, we've got one more stop, one more treat to try. And it's over here. Now, what is being sold here?
I think it's the dried fruit. It's candied fruit.
Aha.
A lot, a
It's
lot of them come in these gift boxes. You don't have to wrap them up yourself. If you're thinking of getting a gift to your friends and to your family, this could be the place.
And around Quanzhou and around Fujian, I've seen a lot of these dried fruits served alongside tea. So it kind of goes with the tea culture, which is huge
That's
here.
really smart. That's really convenient.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's like you have your little sip of tea, you have a little dried fruit snack. It's way more healthy than my usual coffee and croissant, you know?
Yes.
Tea and dried fruit, much better.
Yes.
So hopefully we can try some. I'd love to try some of this dried fruit.
老板，
Hey,
我们能
Mama.
尝一尝那个什么？是国服蜜饯，对对对。对，我们现在因为要照顾这个摄像机，所以能不能请您把那个蜜饯我们拿出来，不然的话拍不到。
可以。
好。
这个是我们的出卖人最好的三宝果。
Oh, the best of the
三
best.
宝果
啊，可以试一下。
，three
它是
treasure
3种水果制作的，山楂、李子、枇杷。
fruit.
Oh, give it a smell. What
你
does
们
it
可以试
smell
一下，来
like?
用牙签来试一下。来，美女也试一下。
Try it. Do you know what three fruits?
No, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Do you?
One of them is grapes.
One of them
That's
is
because
great.
I heard from the boss. I heard from the owner.
Oh, I can taste the grapes.
You can taste the grapes. Any guesses on the other two?
Maybe prunes? Maybe
Okay,
prune.
let me try that.
It's very grapey.
How
and
sweet is this?
earthy. Not too sweet, actually.
Okay.
You know, some dried fruit is you add so much sugar to it that it's no longer a healthy treat. This is pretty healthy still.
This is what sets up the red alert for parents, because if you eat too much of this, you're going to spoil the appetite for dinner, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then it makes a great gift if you want to, you know, take it home with you. 好的，谢谢老板。谢谢。
We already ruined our appetite with all of these sweet treats.
Yeah.
Delicious.
好，谢谢。
谢谢你. So really beautiful. We're coming to the end of West Street now, and what an experience it's been. I love the hustle and bustle, and just the fact that it feels like we could be 100 years ago, we could be yesterday. It just feels like nothing has really changed, but everything has changed in Quanzhou. And we're going to end our tour today with the beautiful East Quanzhou Tower. This is the Zhongguo Tower.
正国塔 in
Zhongguo Tower.
Chinese. It's one of a pair of pagodas here right at the Kaiyuan Temple. Kaiyuan Temple, remember we told you, is a Buddhist temple built in the Tang Dynasty. It's actually the biggest Buddhist temple here in all of Fujian. It's got twin stone pagodas that are the highest, the tallest stone pagodas here in all of China.
And they're really the icon of Quanzhou. You see especially the East Tower on every poster as soon as you come to the airport.
It made it to Chinese stamps.
Wow.
So that says something. You know,
You
they
know.
only have the biggest, grandest, and tallest on the stamps here.
And what we're going to do is you can't get such a good view down here, so we're going to take you upstairs if you bear with us, and we'll get a beautiful view over both towers so you can really see the beautiful West Street and the old kind of almost Hutong area along with those beautiful towers.
I just love the fact that this street is so biker friendly.
It is.
I mean, a lot of the, culture streets, commercial streets in China now are solely pedestrian. So you can, the bikes and cars are off the limits, but this street is so different. It's so welcoming. People ride their bikes all the time.
And we've got to go up to the third floor of the tourist center, which is very well.
And by the way, a funny story, the staff here at the tourist center are so helpful
They
and
are.
so generous. We were here the other day and they keep offering us drinks. We got hot tea, we got water. Does this open? Oh,
No.
my hands just got
Hey.
stuck. Okay, it's an automatic door.
That's okay.
We were trying to force our way in. We failed.
Yeah, everyone here is so lovely. I think that's just the spirit of Quanzhou that I've picked up since I've been here. It's just everywhere you go, everything is so calm. People aren't in as much of a rush as like Shanghai and
Yes.
Beijing. So people have time to stop and talk to you and
Yes.
explain things to you and be nice. And it's something I've really missed. So it's just a wonderful
Look
city.
Where we
Wow.
are right now. This is a great view of the pagoda.
The
We've
perfect
been
place to
telling
catch
you.
the sunset as well.
Yes.
So this is the East Tower of Kaiyuan Temple. And this is the West
The
Tower.
West Tower.
So Renshou Tower and Zhongguo Tower. And the East Tower is a little bit taller, but not by much. And as you said, it's made it to the stamps. So, it's famous all across China. And just a gorgeous place. And here, if you want to get a bird's eye view of the whole of West Street, the whole of Quanzhou, and you really get a feeling of that melded culture that I think we've spoken about so much on this live
Absolutely.
stream. But you
And
get an idea of the different
is-
buildings.
It is
Yeah.
up here that you can really take a good look at the community we just covered. It's it's also very residential. They didn't move all the people out because this has become a very busy street, and people who don't live here come here all the time. They keep it residential. They keep it busy. They keep it. There's of course a little bit commercial elements in it, but that's what makes it so exciting and so fun.
And that is one of the reasons I would say that you should come to Quanzhou as well. It is still kind of trying to get its tourism level up. It hasn't been advertised as much. So if you come right now, you're going to see real Chinese life. You're going to get a taste of old China meets new China without all the loudspeakers, without the tourist buses coming through. And you really get to see how real Quanzhou people live down these little hutongs, in these little shops, bookstores, alleyways. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, I agree 100% because in a lot of the other Chinese tourist cities who brand them as tourist destinations, It's almost too commercialized. It's too busy that you get approached by street vendors, all of that thing. You get sold a lot of stuff. Here, I have never run into a street vendor who tries to sell me anything. We've only run into all those shop owners, those bosses who have been very helpful, very welcoming, and very generous with free samples. We got a bunch of those today.
Yeah, now I don't even need dinner.
I don't either. So, like Morag was saying, I think this has great potential to upgrade itself to be an amazing tourist city. It only was elevated to be on the UN World Heritage List last year, 22 sites altogether. I think there is so much potential for Quanzhou to tap into the wish list of a lot of prospect travelers and tourists who come to China. This is a great spot.
Especially if your thing is food, especially if your thing is culture, and especially if your thing is history, real living history right here in Quanzhou. And at the end of a long day, you get this beautiful view, and it is the view that we're going to leave you with this evening of the two towers and the sun going down. Thank you so much for joining us on our live stream today, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Stay with us. Our special series, Rising Star Cities, continues in Quanzhou. Bye-bye! All right, let's eat.
Oh, we're 5 minutes early.
Oh, really?
But that's okay.
That's pretty good.
They said between 80 and 90 minutes.
Yeah.